in a time of martial law and buybacks of firearms, I mean, to take away your rights. I mean, is this what the world's going to look like now? Now, that's not happening in America, but it is happening with neighbors and friends of ours. So we need to talk about that, how it impacts us and what we should be prepared to do just in case that takes place. Also, we're going to talk about more strange reports of drones. I mean, come on. What is going on? Technology is a good thing, but then when it's used against us, how safe are we? I feel like, again, we're living in a dystopian nightmare. We're also going to talk about what the FBI just did. It never ceases to amaze me that our government, even though they got a wake-up call with the fact of Trump winning, they're still pushing forward with some of the crazy tactics. Now, what about Pete Hegseth? I mean, is he going to make it? I mean, we have people with R behind their names going after him. So what did Trump just say? Did Trump double down on Pete, or did he back out on Pete? We need to talk about that today, and the answer may surprise you. One thing we should have learned from 2016 and 2020 is that people with the R behind their name traditionally doesn't mean they're conservative and they believe in the America First movement. They may speak that way, but when it comes to actions, they don't. We're going to talk about all that today and a few more stories. Preemptive pardons. I mean, what does that mean? Biden's pardoned himself? What? How crazy is that? Let's talk about these stories today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to our channel, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. It means the world to us, and it sure helps us spread our message across this platform. Now let's talk about these stories. First and foremost, these drones. This is stressing me out because we're seeing more and more strange reports of drones, again, back in New Jersey, in New York, still in Virginia. Why are we seeing all these strange reports of all these drones? And why are we not doing anything about it? It's kind of like the balloon that flew over, the spy balloon, and then we just let it fly like it was no big deal. Why are we allowing these drones to just fly over? Who has the right to be? We don't even know who these drones are. Our government? Are they some person who doesn't like us? We need to kind of know a little bit more about this. Don't give me this UFO or UAP stuff. I'm sick of that. I'm talking about truth. What is getting surveilled, and truly what is these drones telling us? If we can take a firework and drone show and make drones look like images in our sky, don't tell me they can't do a little bit more about looking at us. Like right now, I mean, what is over our skies learning about us? There's also a report that the drones in New Jersey, that's flying next to Trump's golf course, next to his property. How serious is this? Why are we seeing these drones? We need to get to the bottom of this, and here's how I think we should get to the bottom of it. And I might be wrong, but we need to figure out our government and if they're the ones doing this or not. And then we need to make sure that we have offensive drones to make sure that this is not taking place. Is that we find out who's doing it, we find out where they're at, and we handle the situation by taking them offline, doing some kind of block. Something has got to be done about this. Now the question is, who is it? Is it us or is it someone else? I think that is the problem, is that we don't know who it is. The solution could be very easy. But if it ends up being our own people, I don't know if the solution is going to be as easy as we thought, especially the more that they try to surveil us. Now, that kind of brings me up to another story. We don't know about the drones, but we do know about this. Just this week, FBI raids someone's home from J6. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is December 7th of 2024. And we're still worried about arresting people from 4 years ago. But no, we can't find the situation in New York. We cannot handle the migrant situations where if they commit crimes, we can't bust crimes of people stealing things at Walgreens, but then we're going to go and we're going to have an FBI raid of someone's home. The more that conservatives speak, how safe are we? Because it doesn't seem like our Congress and Senate are standing up. It seems like they have been just forgotten when it comes to conservatism. Now, Trump's promise, and one of his major promises, was to pardon a lot of people. Now, I hope he pardons a lot of this J6, and just like this new person getting arrested. How crazy is that? That we're 4 years removed from that, and they're still trying to bring charges against people for something that has come out to been proven that it was not a big deal. Pay attention to that. A lot of people are forgetting about that. But what you don't realize is that people are still being targeted. Conservatives are still being targeted by this government. After overwhelmingly getting whooped and wanting someone like Kash Patel in there who is going to look at this and say, you know what, I was one of the ones that got abused during this whole situation. So while someone who could fix everything is getting put up for nomination, and a lot of Republicans trying to stand against him, there's still people getting arrested day in and day out. I mean, raids. We're not talking about just one or two guys. They showed up, guns a-blazing. Is that right? We need to pay attention to that story and make sure that we hold these Republicans and conservatives feet to the fire. And we also need to make sure that Trump holds up to the fact of pardons. He got a pass. I mean, Biden here Biden is doing preemptive pardons where he's talking about Milley, Fauci, Cheney, even his brother and himself. He's talking about clemency further for all of them. More pardons. I mean, again, Hunter. So don't tell me that Trump can't pardon a lot of people, especially the people that have been wrongfully accused. You know, Trump has less pardons than Obama, Biden, and Clinton. I mean, not even close. He did like 200-something pardons where they were up 10 times that in some cases, especially Obama. So what I'm saying is this. When Trump does get in office, all these situations need to be handled and need to be pardoned. Preemptive pardons, I mean, that's unheard of. Pardoning your son, that's unheard of. Pardoning yourself, that's really unheard of. But that's what our fearless leader is doing right now, trying to scapegoat. All the while, they're still trying to arrest people from J6. That's mind-blowing. And oh yeah, this J6 just person that was so bad the FBI had to SWAT on, FBI had to go in guns a-blazing, a 57-year-old grandma. Think about that. All right, so now to the serious issues with South Korea and Canada. Both of those are not countries of America, and we have no say other than just being allies of ours. But Canada does this. They want to send banned 2A rights, what we would consider 2A rights, to Ukraine. So they want to take their people's right to bear arms and send them over to Ukraine. Isn't that so ridiculous? And this should be a red line for Canadians. A lot of Canadians are hunters. A lot of Canadians tend to be libertarians, even though they tend to be more liberal, not as religious as what America is. But they tend to want their freedom. And this man is wanting to take it. It says Canadian government announced Thursday that they are prohibiting citizens from owning another 324 types of firearms. And that's the same ones they want to send to Ukraine. It just blows my mind. And Trudeau keeps getting elected. I mean, this man has gained almost tyrannical power there. Just sleazy family. I mean, it seems like everything has gone wrong for Canada. And it's like, why would they not just say enough's enough? The Pierre guy, you know, the other guy that's always ran and always tried to be a conservative and tries to be a libertarian and tries to bring people around. It's like you would think he could easily win. But no, somehow these liberals keep putting Trudeau in. Well, now this should be a red line for Canadians. Why are you allowing him to confiscate your property? My wife and I were talking yesterday, and this is about America. I wonder if our forefathers came back and said, how stupid are y'all that y'all are paying the taxes that you're paying? How stupid are y'all are allowing people to write new regulation and new law over you when we fought so hard to get away from that? How stupid are y'all that y'all didn't realize y'all had it made, but instead y'all wanted more tyrannical governments over you? Think about how much taxes you pay. Think about how much government oversight there is. Think about regulations and licensures. I'm just like, if I want to go buy a new version of one of those 324 banned things that Canada's doing, I have to do all these permits. I have to sign all this stuff. Was America ever set up that way? Now, the reason I say it's important to pay attention to what Canada's doing, or even South Korea with martial law, is these are considered allies of ours. Now, truthfully, if we become a great leader again in America, and we tend to be the one, the shining light in the world, Trump and what we're doing here, just like what Argentina is being sought after, and what people are learning from Argentina, is that they must be doing something right. One thing I want to make sure that the world sees is that if Trump does like he's supposed to, is that you don't have to take people's rights away. You don't have to add new regulation. You don't have to make declarations of like martial law. Long as you're being good to people, we build a great economy, and we start allowing officers to do what they're supposed to do, police to do what they're supposed to do, sheriffs to do what they're supposed to do. making sure that people have the freedoms to still have the right to bear arms or have free speech or whatever it may be. Those are the things that makes America great. And I hope that that's what is personified across the world. For the last 4 years, we've had a woke ideology personified. We've had more military conflicts and things like that. I don't want that to be Americans' legacy. It should be, we want to show you how to do it right, Canada. We want to show you how to do it right, South Korea. I mean, South Korea is up in arms. I mean, they're declaring martial law, and then the conservative leaders coming across and saying, no, you can't do that. It's unbelievable. Now you think both of those countries are the same style country we are, first world country with all the blessings and means of money and financial benefits and all the goods. How easy can a country go into chaos? Quickly. I mean, look at that. Peter Hotez came out and said there's major outbreaks. I mean, outbreaks are going to start as soon as January 21st. How would he know that? This liberal science professor, doctor, is saying that this H5N1. The United States Department of Agriculture now is saying that they're going to test more cows, test more milk. You see how quick things can spiral out of control. We have a 57-year-old grandmother being arrested still, like by a group of individuals, well armed. We have milk being taken away because you're not responsible enough to make sure that you can drink good quality milk, and you're not responsible enough to fix your diet by eating beef instead of eating some of this fake chemical-laced food. However, your kids can do what they want to do and be who they want to be and transition. That's what the government tells us. But no, you are not smart enough to tell how food is good or bad. You need the government to tell you that. You're not smart enough to be less regulation on things like what Canada is banning. You get what I'm saying? You see how easy it could spiral out of control. So we have to make sure that Trump is doing what he says and he gets in there and he gets the right people in. That leads me to the last story that we're going to talk about today, Pete Hegseth. Now, Trump doubled down on Pete Hegseth. When everybody thought that he was going to get thrown under the bus, there was like wide reports that he was going to be replaced by Ron DeSantis and all that. Trump came out and said no. He is a winner and we're sticking with him. And he told him, he said, you fight. You make sure that you stay in this and we will win the Pentagon for you. Now, there's been some senator coming around. There's been some Senate come around. Some of these Republicans now are like, oh, I guess we're thinking about supporting him now. The 5 or 6 that's not wanting to support him, or the 5 or 6 that don't want to support Kash Patel, the 5 or 6 that didn't want to support Gates, the 5 or 6 that did not want to support Tulsi Gabbard. Every one of them, Tom Tillis, Cornyn, McConnell, even Lindsey Graham, that loser. He's a loser, man. Of course, Murkowski and Collins. Of course, Murkowski, and just a few more. Rounds. I mean, there's several like that. Get these people out of office. What they are is deep state establishment people who want to see government keep growing, and just because they have an R behind their name does not make them a conservative. They need to be primary. I say that every video, and I feel like I'm a broken record, but it's true. These people are evil. They're evil. Just like Peter Hotez talking about how there's going to be an outbreak. How does he know that? Well, he doesn't. But what he's hoping is that something causes a problem across America so that way Trump looks weak. That's evil. That's evil. I'm glad that Trump is standing next to Pete Hegseth. And I'm glad that we're seeing Pete be strong too and say, you know what, no matter how much you throw at me, it's not going to matter. And even some of his best confidants, the people that worked with him, are saying, look, all these stories are so frivolous. We've known him for years. Phenomenal guy. Loves his family, loves his God, and loves his country. The kind of person who is not a part of the establishment, they loathe, they hate. And that gives you all the reason why we should support him. Trump is picking the right people, and I'm glad to say that there is good signs. And the more that Biden does these crazy pardons, and the more that Biden does crazy things this last month, the better it could be for Trump. Even though he's walking into a bad dealt hand, he could say, you know what, day one we're pardoning all these people. Day one we're closing the borders. Day one we're going to make some changes. I mean, did you see, people are getting tired. Did you see New York City's mayor come out and said that he's not opposed to going to the Republican ticket? The Republican ticket? He's starting to wake up. He came out, one of the only Democrats that came out and said the Penny case, the Daniel Penny case. He said, to be honest with you, and again, he beat around the bush. But as a Democrat, I'll take beat around the bush, because he was like, you know, the guy's not guilty. We've pretty much made him guilty in a court of public opinion with legacy media. But truthfully, the guy didn't do anything wrong. And I think people are waking up to that now. The more we get sick and tired, the better the pendulum will swing and the more we will come around. One thing that we did is we tried to fix it by getting Trump in. If we didn't, Kamala Harris and Biden, they'd have done just what Canada's doing. They could have done just what South Korea's doing. Chaos can break out. But we have to pay attention that, you know what? No matter what they try to throw at us, outbreaks, the United States agriculture, the FBI, if we stand on truth and we have a moral compass and we have values, we can see it through. And America could return back to greatness. I mean, there's already thoughts. There's already people saying that they're going to riot because of the penny case in New York. And I love the fact that the New York City mayor is saying, look, you're not doing that on my watch. We're going to allow this to work out and get it fixed. And this is a Democrat saying that, of one of the biggest cities in the world. That's huge. Guys, thank you so much for watching. A lot of topics today, a lot of things to think about, from the mysterious drones that are still flying over, Trump winning, but the FBI is still arresting grandmas. But we can't seem to find all these bad people. We can't seem to do anything about the migrant issue. We can't seem to do anything about children and trafficking and drugs. But boy, we can arrest this 57-year-old grandma. Doesn't make sense, does it? Hopefully good times are coming, and Trump, in spite of these crazy senators who call themselves conservatives or Republicans, I hope that we can get some things passed, some things changed, and America on the right footing again. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you watched to the very end of this video, and I hope that you will subscribe to our channel, comment below. It sure helps us spread our message across this platform. Our goal is to always do things that brings honor and glory to God, of course, but it's always to hopefully gain wisdom and a common sense approach as we live in a crazy world. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.